back to the channel. I have received a package today from Motorcycle Parts UK. Now, Motorcycle Parts UK, their online store, they have lighting, accessories, luggage, tool bags, tools, clothing, eye protection, you name it. If it's for motorcycles or related to motorcycles, they probably have it. Let's go ahead and open up this package and take a look at what is inside. Alright, we have the Profile Laser Chain Alignment Tool. Now, as we all know, chain alignment is very important, especially for motorcycles. Here it is. Comes with the tool itself. Right. We have some instructions here. A little setting tool here, measuring. Okay. And the actual instructions themselves. Many different languages. All right. Let's go ahead and take it outside and we will see just how it works. All right. Be right back with you. As it was oil change time, I went ahead and changed the oil and installed the 19-tooth front sprocket and the carburetor vibration reduction plate. Alright, now it is time to align our wheel chain here. Okay, now if you're going to align your wheel and chain, whether you've changed a tire, you've installed a part, you're adjusting your chain tension, what have you, or you just want to check in general, there's a few things you want to do. You want to go ahead and release the brake. Went ahead and took the rod out. Unscrewed the threaded portion there, the adjuster, and just let it hang here. So it's nice and free. Our tire can move as it feels. Alright, now when you adjust your tension, you're going to use, depending on which style you have, your snails, one on each side. You're going to want them to be about even, but they don't have to be because they could be off. That's why we want to go ahead and check the alignment and not rely on those numbers for the notches there. Okay, you're going to want to go ahead and undo this here, outside and inside, both of those. That's going to be for your axle there. You're going to want to go ahead and loosen up this one as well. That's what locks everything down. Okay. Alright, once you've got that done, we're ready to adjust, and you want to adjust your chain tension to about 30 millimeters or roughly an inch and a quarter. Roughly an inch and a quarter, 30 millimeters. Alright, let's go ahead and get that adjusted. And once you've got it where you think you want it, go ahead and snug these down just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just keep it from deviating. Make sure you push forward on the tire. Make sure it's tight. Make sure those grooves are in place on each side. Now, as I mentioned before, the numbers aren't really important. They could deviate a little bit. This one is dead on 15. The other side is on 14. And that looks pretty close to me. Let's go ahead and check our chain tension. Chain tension is pretty good. It's about 30 millimeters. Get out a ruler and measure if you'd like. Looks good to me. Alright. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our Profile Cat, our line laser here, and we're going to go ahead and make sure that we are aligned. When using a leveling device like a laser, you're going to want to dim the lights just a little bit. So I've closed one of the doors here and partially closed the other. We've still got some light we can see. Okay, we're going to use the provided cards. We're just going to tear one of these away, and it's going to have these little lines on it here for measuring. Okay, normally we would put these on a belt. It says that you can rest the device across the links and measure that way. So that is what we are going to do. And when doing that, you have to have a way to measure, because it's going to be off of those links and not shining directly on them like it would with a more open sprocket here. We have our hub and everything else. Alright. So, what we're going to be doing with this is we are going to take and press it against the center portion of a link. And we're going to get our measurement between these four lines here. We're going to do that close to the laser itself, and then we're going to do it further up and see if they match up. Now let's go ahead and get our laser turned on. Now to turn it on, all you have to do is twist. And then our laser is on, as you can see. Okay, let's go ahead and get our closest reading. We're going to go ahead and sit the device itself on the outer portion of the links, and we're going to get a measurement. And we are at 3, right at the number 3 line. Okay, let's get a measurement further up. Okay, we're going to place our device in the same area that it was before when we took our first measurement. Okay, and we're just going to hold it steady like so. Then we're going to get our second reading. And we are at the 3rd mark, so we are good. Okay, that's all there is to it. It's very simple, very easy to use, very easy to read. It doesn't get any simpler than that. The next step is to go ahead and reinstall your brake linkage here. Go ahead and tighten everything down, these 3 nuts. And sometimes it's good to go ahead and do your brake linkage first, so that you can apply the brake to draw the rear tire in all the way to make sure that it is seated properly. Make sure that it is seated properly, and whichever style you have, most especially if you have the snail shell, to go ahead and make sure that they are seated where you want them to be, and they are inside those grooves. It's very important. After everything's tightened down and you're comfortable with where you are and everything's torqued down, now let's go ahead and go over chain care. Now there's a lot of stink about what kind of wax to use, what kind of lubricant to use, what kind of cleaner to use, etc., etc. It's really not that important, especially if you're using an O-ring chain. The O-ring on these chains is going to seal in most of that lubricant that gets onto the chain before it even gets to you. It's kind of sealed there. It has a seal, unless the seals are worn out. If your chain is that worn out, it should be replaced, and it probably won't be on your motorcycle anymore. So what I do is I take an old dirty rag that I have lying around in the shop, and I just put it over the back and turn my chain over. Just turn my tire. make sure you stay on the outside edge of the chain and never ever work on the front side of that sprocket. If your finger gets pulled in there, you're in for a world of hurt. Trust me, ask me how I know. Early on, I learned that the hard way. And never clean your chain with the motorcycle in gear and the engine running. I've seen people do it. It's not a smart idea. If you do it, stop. Alright, so you always want to stay on the outer edges. So we've done the back, now let's get the outside edge. Find a cleaner, dirty spot. Go over it again. Alright, find a cleaner spot. Let's go along the inside edge. Let's move to a clean spot. Now let's get the outside edge one more time. Okay. And that's pretty much it. Once every couple of months I will douse a rag with a little carb cleaner before I wipe it down. It's not really necessary. I just like to do it. It keeps it from spraying a bunch of crap all over the underside of the engine where your drive pulley is. And a lot of people see all that crap under there and think they have an oil leak when all it is excess lubricant. Which brings me to my next point. Chain lube. People use WD-40, gear oil 80-90, engine oil, all kinds of stuff. All I've ever used is just a simple Champion spray grease. It's a chain lube. It's fairly cheap. That's it. Solely for the use on chains of chain-driven vehicles. It's waterproof. It gets the job done. I dropped this one. As you can see, she has some battle damage. Now when I do this, you're not going to want to spray just a whole lot. You're going to think I'm crazy, but this comes from years of experience. You're just going to want to spray a tiny little bit, I'm telling you. You're going to want to spray a spot like so, like that, and move to another spot. Move to another spot. You're going to do it about every inch, or every other couple of links are going to get sprayed. Just like that, until you come back to where you've started. You just want to take breaks. It doesn't have to be precise. It doesn't have to be perfect. Because to be honest with you, even doing this is too much. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your rag, okay? After you're finished and you've come back to where you started, you're going to take your rag and you're just going to put your finger around it. Put your finger on the inside of that rag and you're going to go around the outside lightly. And you just roll it again. And you're going to remove that excess. And what that's going to do in turn is it's going to spread it along those rollers and get it down in that chain. And that's also going to keep you from slinging crap all over your engine and possibly all over you, all over the underside of your chain guard. That's going to prevent that from happening. And it's going to clean some more in the process. Good stuff. Alright, then you just clean up your little areas that you oversprayed. Get those areas cleaned up. Alright, Fieldy's due for a bath. Okay. And that's pretty much all there is to chain maintenance, guys. Fairly simple, quick and easy, especially with the help of the Profile Cat. I like this. I prefer this more so now that I've used it than the rod gauges there, the rod style, they just don't get precise. Sometimes they can be hard to read, hard to attach, especially when you're working on something with a brake hub like this. The rod style aligners, they can bend. I just don't like to use them. Usually I go the old school route with it whenever I do one, and use a tape measure and go around the vehicle, and that is time consuming, but it gets the job done, and I know that it's right. And I double checked I double checked the Profile Cat with the old school method, and the Profile Cat is dead on the money. Can't get any better than that. Okay, that's all I have for this video, guys. I hope you learned something insightful. If you didn't, maybe it's just a little refresher. Maybe you've already heard all this stuff before, which is fine. Then you're ahead of the game. I'm here to just help everybody at every level. If you have an idea for a video, or you would like to see me cover something in a video, leave a comment below, guys, and let me know what you'd like to see. And once again, I'd like to give a very special thanks to Motorcycle Parts UK for sending this Profile Cat, and I'm going to leave a link in the description below to this little gadget. It is amazing. It is a time saver. If it works on chain driven, belt driven, it doesn't matter. If you've got a go-kart, you've got a motorcycle, if it's got a chain or a belt on it, it's going to align it, and it's going to make it simple. Very, very simple. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button down there. And since you're in the immediate area, you might as well subscribe. It is a hot, hot day here in North Carolina. I'm going to go ahead and call it. Dripping sweat. It's probably 103 today. So I'm going to go in and get something cool to drink, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.